What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, I want to talk about this situation that recently happened involving the Fresh and Fit podcast and the rapper Asian Doll. So, the rapper Asian Doll was a guest on the Fresh and Fit podcast show. And from what I heard, she arrived 2 hours late and she was having a sidebar conversation, I believe, with another woman on the podcast. The situation was sort of like a group setting. It wasn't just Asian Doll, it was Asian Doll and several other women, as well as the host. And, a lot of people on the internet and social media, took issue with the way that Asian Doll was treated on the show. And in this video, I'm going to get at Asian Doll and I'm going to get at the two hosts of the show. First, I'm going to start with Asian Doll because I got a lot more to talk about when it comes to the host of the show. And what I have to say about Asian Doll isn't as lengthy. So I'll say this. The host of the show, they have a right and even a duty to moderate the show for themselves and for the other guests. And again, from what I heard, Asian Doll arrived about 2 hours late to the show, so that may have made the co-host Fit a little disgruntled, as well as the other co-host, but I think it was more so the co-host Fit. And of course, following directions, especially in situations like this, does help things run a lot more smoothly. But personally, I do think that Asian Doll probably should have had a segment or even an entire show dedicated to just her and not having to share it with several other women. I think it should have just been Asian Doll, but I'm not sure of the exact rhyme and reason behind that. But nevertheless, I do think that probably should have been done. And the host Fit, one of the co-hosts named Fit, he said that he asked her and the other lady about 5 times to stop talking or having sidebar conversations. And, Asian Doll, she didn't appreciate it. Maybe she felt like, oh, who are you to check me? I can do what I want. Whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. She may have had that, who gonna check me, boo, attitude towards them. And ultimately, I feel like Asian Doll should just either respect the rules of the show or leave. And ultimately, she just ended up leaving, which I think was it was a good idea. And both of them had like a back and forth, and she said that he was mean, right? And he ain't appreciate being called mean. And he's saying he ain't mean. It's just that he got rules. And he want to, protect the integrity and the quality of the show. All right. As he should, right? As he should. And, I'll just give you a bit of a scenario here, just in case, people may be feeling a bit of a ways about some of the things that I'm saying, Here's the thing. Let's say if you were hosting an event and you invited a friend or a colleague, an associate, or even just a person who's has some notoriety to your event. And you're like, well, the event starts at 8 o'clock and this person arrives at 10 o'clock. And, you are like, well, And then, they may have even just came in all acting like nothing is wrong, acting like they just came in on time. And there's seemingly not a good reason for them being that late. I'm pretty sure you'd be kind of, a little perturbed. And then not only are they late, but they're also being low-key disruptive of your event. You're probably going to be like, hey, you already came 2 hours late with no good reason. Like, don't be disruptive, especially 5 times. And from what I heard, I don't think the host called Asian Doll out of her name, and I don't think they were being extremely disrespectful, at least initially. So long story short, I'll say that in this situation, I do think that Fresh and Fit have a right to feel the way that they feel. Perhaps maybe I missed something in these clips. Maybe they did get disrespectful with her. I don't know. But based on what I've seen, I don't think that was the case. However, I do think it's a bit weird that Asian Doll is on this show, as well as the host having Asian Doll on the show. One, because Asian Doll knows how the host of the show gets down, like both of them get down when it comes to black women, and perhaps just their guests in general. But also, from what I heard, Fresh and Fit, they don't like, quote unquote, Shaniquas and Lakeishas, quote unquote, right? An Asian Doll would fall into the category, at least how they see it, of being a quote unquote Shaniqua or Lakeisha. So, why did Asian Doll go on this show? Again, the co-hosts don't have a good track record when it comes to black women. And based on her social media comments, again, she knew the type of dudes she was dealing with. But I'm thinking maybe she thought she was the exception to the rule. You know how some black women be thinking when it comes to black men who may show disdain towards black women, and they think, well, it ain't me because I'm a good one. I'm the exceptional black woman. And for just that alone, Asian Doll gets an L. And the L can stand for a loss, or it can stand for a lesson. Asian Doll, the choice is yours. But, enough about Asian Doll. I think, I've dealt with that situation enough. Let's get on Fresh and Fit, because I think that's really probably what you're really here for, to see Fresh and Fit get dragged. Dragged down the street, stomped in the mud with your feet, right? So if you're looking for that, then you came to the right place. So my beef with Fresh and Fit isn't so much this situation with Asian Doll. My beef with them, it goes deeper than that. And it's more so relating to black women and their views of black women. And basically, them, expressing their preference for non-black women and non-black adjacent women in a malicious, disrespectful way. So I'm going to show a video clip right quick, a short video clip of this, and then I'm going to come back and continue my commentary.
Black dating app called Black. It's funny. I never used that one, bro, but hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
Laquisha.
Yeah, me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders.
Nah,
So,
bro, I'm good.
Sometimes if they're, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay. Which are traits of feminine women? What's her gram?
What's Instagram
Dude,
again?
you are like a
love
fan
today.
Yeah, baby.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. It's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this? Ratchet, and they don't know how to like be
Carry
reserved.
themselves.
You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the
props to you.
stereotype.
Yeah,
You are not the
You
stereotype.
are not the same. That's
Aw.
awesome.
So, yeah. So we'll give you that compliment.
All right, so you guys saw that video clip. And here's the thing. The preference itself isn't so much the problem, because I know some people gonna come through and be all like, what y'all mad about? Can a brother have a preference? Y'all trying to take away a brother's right to choose. A brother got a right to like what he likes. Oh, do. Y'all always looking for a reason to bring a brother down. Y'all some wicked black women. And like I said, the thing is, the preference isn't so much the problem. And I'm going to put preference in quotes, quote unquote, because I don't think it's, we can just call it a preference for the sake of this video. But I think it goes a bit deeper than that. I don't think it's a preference at this point. I think it's a standard for them, right? But, fresh and fit, crumb and bum, they have a right to have their preferences. I'm not going to take that away from them, even if it comes from an effed up place. They have a right to like what they like, all right? The problem that I have and many other people have is that the way that they expressed their preference was ugly. It was malicious. It was disrespectful at the expense of black women. And it came from black men. And I know some people say that Fit ain't black, and I'm going to speak on that a little bit later too. But why did they feel the need to express their preference in a malicious, ugly way? That wasn't necessary. And also notice that rolled off their tongues way too easily. Like, they done been said this a few times before. This ain't their first time expressing their preference verbally. And who has them feeling so comfortable to even speak like this? You shouldn't even be feeling comfortable enough to speak about black women like this. And there are many people out there who feel that black women should just accept any and everything, especially from black men. And we wonder why some black women have self-esteem issues and dislike their natural features. And I'm sure there's many black women out there who can be like, oh, F them, I don't care about them, bump them. And that's true. But you also have to know that there are some black women, black girls especially, but also some black women out there who may not be at that place mentally where they're strong enough to just brush that off, and who may end up internalizing it. That's a problem. And unfortunately, this community does not prioritize fortifying black girls and black women's self-esteem. Unfortunately, that is not a priority within the community. Personally, I believe that the black community sets itself up for black women to have low self-esteem. And so that they'll end up, muling and mammying for validation and for the community. But I also think that these dudes, Nig and Nog, I think that these dudes may be resentful because they weren't black women's pick back in the day before the come up, before they load up, right? At least financially, right? And probably at that time, black women were the only women that they were in proximity to. And black women, the Shaniquas and the LaQuishas, right? They thought they were lame, corny, didn't have no swag or a bag, etc. So they weren't checking for them. They were like, next. And hey, that's just Shaniqua and LaQuisha's preference, right? We all have a right to have a preference, don't we? Don't we all? Oh, but Shaniqua and LaQuisha gotta just accept any and everything. They just need to be happy that someone's paying attention to them and someone's interested in them. They don't have a right to have choices and options and to explore their options and exercise their options. No, nuh-uh. Shaniqua and LaQuisha just some ghetto ratchet hood rats. And they should just be happy with any and everything they get because at the end of the day, they're just some ghetto ratchet round-the-way hood rat girls. They ain't used to nothing. Right? Can we be real? That's probably a lot of people's thought processes when it comes to, the Shaniquas and LaQuishas, quote unquote. But since, Crumb and Bum glowed up, right? At least financially, they want revenge. So, this is a situation of like low-key revenge of the black nerds, right? That's partially why Kevin Samuels, aka K-Sam, is so popular. And I know some people gonna say, well, when they say Shaniqua and LaQuisha, well, they ain't talking about just all black women. They talking about just the ghetto ones, the ratchet ones, the alley ones. Right, that's that old school term, alley. Better ask your mama about that. And as well, some people call them like quote unquote round the way girls too. Right. And again, people are gonna try and frame this as, oh, well, they're just saying basically they don't like, uncultured black women, rude, loud, boisterous black women. Right. But no, it goes deeper than that. This isn't just something about when it comes to like personality. Because they also go on to say that, they are not down with the brown. That they are not, quote unquote, night riders. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the term night riders, which I wasn't either, I just found out perusing the comments section of a video about this, I'll explain what a night rider is in this situation. A night rider is a term used, it was coined and pushed by white men or white frat brothers to disparage and label white women who date black men as undesirable, right? Because they don't want to deal with the night riders, right? The white women who engage in that sort of activity. And I suppose this is a step up from being called a mud shark, right? But, a bit of a sidebar, this sort of reminds me of that, that video clip, if you're familiar with the YouTuber Cynthia G, that video clip that she plays at the beginning of a lot of her videos of that white woman and that black man conversing with each other, right? It's like, getting attention from black guys is not a badge of honor if you're white. And I'm white. You are white. Yes. That clip, right? So again, it looks like these white men, have come up with another term to disparage their women when it comes to the activities they engage in. Pretty much, the black woman, well, not the black woman, the white woman's, dating marketplace value goes down, at least within the white community, when she has been linked with black men, or at least a black man. Interesting, right? But something that I think is going over people's heads, or either people just aren't talking about this, is that these dudes have co-opted a disparaging term that was used to disparage white women who got with men like them, right? And they're using this term and applying it towards black women, like themselves and black women, right? And that is a clear example of them projecting onto black women, right? Why not project onto or address white men who came up with this term? But no, y'all want to come after black women and use this term saying, oh, we ain't night riders, right? Really? Really? You ain't night riders? Okay. And also another thing, he said, sometimes if they're red bones, maybe, right? And for them, quote unquote, red bones is as black as it's going to get for them. Right? And I know some people will be coming through, they can have a preference for red bones, stop hating on red bones. And, again, at the end of the day, they can have their preference. They can like what they like. I don't care. All right. But we still got to call out the pathology that's behind it. Right? But again, they said that, basically they'll consider a red bone. And again, it's most likely because she has proximity to non-blackness. And they ain't the only black guys that do this, right? They ain't the only black guys that do this. Many black men, especially in the industry, do this. Michael B. Jordan, Tay Diggs, Lamar Odom, Kanye West, Shaq, Kevin Hart, these pro-black, black male YouTubers out here, or perhaps pro-black adjacent black male YouTubers out here. And the list goes on and on and on. And the thing is, we peep game, we see you. All right, we see what's up, right? And it's almost, well, not almost, but it's like, what's the point? I guess these dudes, they want to get with the, quote unquote, the red bone so that they can still kind of not be seen as sellouts, basically. And again, I don't think this is what Fresh and Fit are necessarily doing, but a lot of the black dudes that I just named, right? Because people love to say, black women and black people, I guess, too, but especially, black women come in so many different shades and colors and textures and varieties and so many different flavors of black women. Yeah, okay, all right. But it seemed like, you tend to gravitate towards black women on the whole other end of the spectrum, going away from black versus coming to black. Again, that's fine, but it's just like, why? But again, as I said, these dudes, they don't want to be seen as sellouts, and that's the way that they can kind of low-key, have their cake and eat it too, quote unquote. And they can also still be invited to the cookout, and they can bring, red bone Keisha to the cookout, and folks, won't be looking at them weird or treating them poorly or treating them like, oh, you sold out. Dang, bruh. And hey, at the end of the day, if that's what they want, then hey, go for it. You know? But a quick sidebar, for the black women who are out there who may be listening to this, again, these black men behave this way because of who they are. All right, this is a problem that they have. Don't put that on yourself and don't let them put that on you. This is something that they are dealing with internally. And also to the red bones and non-black women out there, don't get hyped off this. All right. Because y'all see what happened to Danny Leah, right? Y'all see what the baby, how the baby put Danny Leah out here. And Danny Leah looking all crazy. She getting kicked out of home, getting the police called on her. Red bone or yellow bone ain't what he want no more, right? And also you see how Iggy Azalea looking out here. And Khloe Kardashian. So don't get too hyped just because, you think you got one up on, brown skin and dark skin black women. They'll flip the script on you in a second as well. But on to the next. Fresh and Frit. Fugly and Fuglier said that, they don't dabble in the dark. And I'm like, bruh. Like, have you not ever looked in the mirror? Like, dude, you dabble in the dark every day. Not being shady, but I'm just saying. You live in the dark. And any non-black women or red bones that deal with them will have to dabble in the dark too and be down with the brown too. All right. Dabble in the dark. Like dabble in the dumpster. And possibly have their kids. And those non-black women are red bones, they be praying that them kids don't come out looking like them with they busted features too. Right. And, another sidebar here, but I don't see non-black men or, male red bones who are with black women not wanting their kids to have the black mother's features. Right. I'm just saying. But another thing that came up is people saying that, Fit isn't black. He's Middle Eastern or Arabic, etc. Right? And the thing is, based on the way that he looks, I do think that he probably some sort of at least, non-black mixture of some kind, or non-black admixture of some kind, at least. Much like African Americans do, Afro Latinos, Afro Caribbeans, etc. But y'all also acting like y'all ain't used to seeing black folks with admixture. But maybe I'm missing something. Right? Maybe I'm missing some information. But y'all know that Fit, aka Spit, y'all know he hanging on to that non-black-ish admixture for dear life. He be out here being like, at least I ain't no 100% blackie. Shoot, I got part Iranian in me. Shoot, so I ain't no 100% blackie. I'm a special black, not 100% though. But either way, if he's black or non-black, he's still out of line for those comments. That doesn't excuse his comments. And another thing that happened is people somehow, some way saw a photo of Fresh's. He would be the darker of the two, aka Ashy. But somehow, some way, social media got a hold of a picture of Ashy's mom. And I think he may have posted that picture at one point or another on like his social media account. And people started disparaging his mother. And I'll say that I don't necessarily agree with this, but that is the monster that they created. And now it's reared its ugly head at Fresh's mother. And also be aware that they didn't care when their colorism, anti-black monster was hurting other black women. They didn't care about that. Those black women are mothers, sisters, aunts, daughters, granddaughters, grandmothers, etc. But that didn't matter to them. Maybe if they didn't, like if they had not put that negativity out there, then this would not have happened. Also, both of them, but especially Fresh, he's differentiating his mother from other black women. He does not see random black women as his mother, sister, auntie, etc. And I'm pointing this out, especially for the black male identified black women out there who love, to sing their favorite song, right? That could be my song. That could be my brother, my daddy, my baby daddy. What about my mailman, my Uber driver, my Amazon Prime delivery guy? Leave him alone, put him on the phone, let him come home, yeah. And sadly, the ugly truth is that they, black men, and even many black women, have never viewed random black women as family in the way that, many black male identified black women view random black men. It has all been one big lie.
No! Lies. Everything is lies. Everything is lies!
But you don't have to continue to be in the dark about the lie. You don't have to continue to live the lie. You can simply wake up, come to the realization, and move on. Black women, the choice is yours. But I thank you very much for watching this video. I know this video was a little long, but I just had some things to say and some things that needed to be said. But thank you very much for watching this. So if you were able to make it to the end of this video, please let me know by posting in the comment section the following phrase: Black women have endless possibilities. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Adios and goodbye for now.